my sweet dear magical friends. Welcome to your weekly horoscope and taroscope with me, Natalie, spelled N-A-T-A-L-E-E. If someone has sent you this video, they believe there's something valuable for you to gain through one or a few of the messages contained herein. If this is your first time viewing an astrology video, a horoscope is a forecast for future events, just like the weather forecast. Except a horoscope's delineation is based on the planet's position and relationships in the week ahead. This weekly horoscope is a unique blend of Western tropical astrology interpretation and what I see when I remotely view into the week ahead. If this is your first time viewing a tarot reading, just observe your own body, thoughts, and emotions for any reactions, subtle or strong. This means you are resonating with the message and can benefit from its guidance. If you'd like to know when I upload or live stream new messages here on the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to this handle, Watch Natalie, and toggle the notification bell. To connect on social media, you can also follow me over on the TikTok, same handle, Watch Natalie. Please block and report any other accounts. Lastly, always remember that time spirals, all of my messages are timeless, and that you can learn more about me, my psychic work, how to book your one-to-one Zoom session with me, or how to do your own forecasting, remote viewing, astral traveling, lucid dreaming down below in the description box. And that there are timestamps for easy navigation. Without further ado, let's open up your week ahead. Monday, July the 25th, Venus in Cancer squares Jupiter in Aries and the moon is in Cancer. We just have to start by saying, this week is a big one. I'm calling this your Jumbotron destiny for a reason. This week and next week are probably some of the most important weeks out of the entire year, if not the most important. October, November might have something that rivals this magnitude, but still this one really probably does take the cake because we are leading up to the epic triple conjunction in Taurus. We have the North Node meeting Uranus and Mars. All three of these very passionate, impulsive, game-changing, hunger, and just really, really intense energies all meeting together in the same spot in the sky. So wherever you have Taurus in your chart, expect the fireworks, expect the Jumbotron energy to just show you where the passion is, where the hunger for a life unlived. This is experience that you don't have, not in this lifetime, not in previous lifetimes. So I will be reading your weekly horoscope in that context because we have the new moon this week. That's going to be overshadowed by the triple conjunction that is taking place July the 31st and August 1st. I actually included this in my July horoscopes, which came out at the end of June. So over on Patreon, my Knights and Above have had the heads up on this energy since the end of June. And I go in depth for all 12 zodiac signs. So it's included in my July horoscopes as well as the August horoscopes, which are all up. So you guys can go check those out now. And you can hear me talk about how this is going to affect you personally if you're watching for your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign. In the context of this weekly horoscope, however, this is going to be something that everyone has been leading up to and will continue to lead up to until that day. And whatever is going on this week, next week, it's going to be a big enough change to put you on a whole new course of destiny, at least for the next 15 years. So it's a big one. It's one that you cannot miss. That's why I'm calling it Jumbotron. It's going to be like very in your face, very clear, very obvious. You're going to know how you feel. So you'd have to work really hard against your intuition. You're going to have to work really hard against the flow of life in order to miss it. So long as you are staying open-minded, and resourceful within yourself, and I'll get to that more in depth when we get to that specific date in your weekly. I just want to open up on Monday saying that every single day is leading up to this, and so all of the little bumps along the road or any of the little things that could otherwise undermine your confidence or your momentum or your perspective of your momentum, don't allow it. Don't let that happen because it's going to smoothen out and it's going to work out. Okay, let me just dive in. Okay, so on Monday, we have that Venus in Cancer squaring Jupiter in Aries, and we have the moon in Cancer. So I'm calling this day elevating values. There's something that you realized it can be even better. It doesn't have to be this way. It could have been better, or it could be created better, or you could be feeling better. Maybe you were settling for feeling a certain way and you thought this was as good as it gets. This is it. And you're realizing, oh my gosh, I could feel even better. Or you're working on a project, you're working on your car, you're working on homework, and it's like, oh, this could be even better. So it's a little bit of a perspective shift, but one that is challenging you to elevate your values and elevate your standards of what you expect out of something, out of an experience. So that could be a little bit jostling to, with that Venus in Cancer, a little bit jostling to your comfort zone or what is familiar to you. You might want to stay with what's familiar, but there's something larger than life that is just showing you, don't. You know, go beyond. There's something like calling you out to move beyond that comfort zone. So I feel like it's going to be a good leveling up. I feel like Monday is going to be a good, like, you know, you admit it, oh, this could have been better, but then you're like, okay, I'm there with you. I can do that. Let's see where this goes. And then the fact that the moon's in Cancer, it's a dark moon phase. Like, it's dark. The new moon is always very, very dark. So a dark moon phase, you know, you could be feeling like everything is up in the air, or everything is sort of chaotic, or that you don't have a clear internal indicator of how you feel like something is going to go or how you see it going. Ignore that. Ignore all of that, especially if it's making you feel insecure or doubting yourself or doubting your intuition, because you will have a feeling, you will have an intuitive hit of how you feel something should go, or how you should show up in a situation, or how you should meet something. You have a feeling there, but you're going to want to like doubt yourself because it's a dark moon, and you're going to be starting a whole new thing in a moment. So I always say this, don't tweak out about your life, and don't future trip on a dark moon. And this is that day. So feel it out, know what you're feeling. Actually, it's a couple days. Feel it out, know what you're feeling, and just sit tight, because that's going to change too. Tuesday, July the 26th, I am calling this day necessary disappointments. We have Mercury in Leo squaring that Mars in Taurus. We have Uranus conjuncting the North Node in Taurus. Okay, I'm calling it necessary disappointments because this is a shift. This is you're going along your path, and now you're making a hard turn. It's a hard pivot, okay? And that will necessitate some broken hearts. That will necessitate some disappointments. That will necessitate some hard conversations. We're going to get to that in a couple days. But as far as Tuesday is concerned, this is maybe the action. This is breaking some bad news. You could have to communicate to someone that your passion is going elsewhere, in business, in love, in dating, in sex, in creativity, in any way, shape, or form where the energy and the drive is just going somewhere else. And you are feeling like you have to honor that. You have to honor what you know will sustain your passions or your interest or your commitment ultimately, because Mars in Taurus isn't impulsive. Mars in Taurus is a slow burn. So you're not making this decision willy-nilly. That's why I'm saying to really trust yourself of what's opening up within you, the realizations going on and opening up and blooming inside of yourself, because you don't want to undermine that. That's going to be what takes you through the choppiness of this energy, and of course these horoscopes. So the passion's going somewhere else, or your motivation's going somewhere else, or even your priority. That Mars in Taurus could say that, you know, there's this whole other objective where you don't even want something anymore. So why would you stay on the path to complete something you don't even care about anymore? You don't even want this anymore. There could also be something that's kind of failing, that's not really working out, and that'll make the decision even easier for you. You know, you're trying to keep a relationship going and it's just like so far gone, or you're trying to keep something. You'll see that. You'll see what's been like old and tired and trying to make it work, and it's just not working. That's obvious. That's going to be very clear. So if you're on the flip side of this, and this could be a little bit of both, where you are both delivering some disappointing news, and you might even be getting some disappointing news from another area of life or in another circumstance. So be prepared for both. Be prepared to have some discussions and be prepared to be pulled aside and to be discussed with. And you want to be as graceful as possible when that's happening, because it is for the best. So if you are getting broken up with, if you are getting let go from a job, if you are being unceremoniously disinvited or in any other way, shape, or form excluded, that is such a clear sign. Don't fight this. Just take it as your freedom. Take it as your freedom to just go and start a new thing. Start with a clean slate somewhere else, going where you're appreciated, going where your flow is trying to be channeled. So don't try to flow your energy into a dam. Like, just accept it immediately and boogie, okay? Because you're going to get a head start on your next thing. Okay, because also happening on this day is Uranus and the North Node meeting at 18 degrees of Taurus. This is such, you could have been feeling this as early as late June, like in some way, shape, or form, this Taurus area of your life where there's just like, you're being waking up, okay? So, you know, there could have been some big wake up moments in May, the beginning of May, the middle of May specifically, and that was a little bit different. This was probably, what was going on in May was probably something ending, something very difficult ending, especially preconceived notions and thoughts or ideas or perceptions about things. But there was also something new starting that was starting to open you up to receive something like this, to even be able to understand what it is that you're looking at. You wouldn't have been able to, you know, it's like giving an iPhone to a caveman. They're not going to get it. They're not going to appreciate what an iPhone is and what an iPhone can actually do. So that solar eclipse is what I'm referring to in the beginning of in May is setting the stage for something like this. So on Tuesday, there could be that new path, that fated opportunity coming in and showing itself to you. It's unfolding. Remember, this is something new. You've never experienced this before. This is life unlived. This is an experience that is new and waiting for you, that you're hungry to experience. That's this triple conjunction. It's something so new and radical and different, but you're hungry to go for it. You're hungry to experience something new and different and fresh. It could be a little bit unusual. That's just the nature of Uranus. So it could be a little bit strange. It could be a little bit weird. It could be a little bit unexpected, you know, in the circumstance or the people or how something came about or what you're moving into or, you know, anything at all. There could definitely be the unusual element to it. So it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. Just have fun with all of this stuff, okay? So the only little warning with Tuesday is if you are being talked to or if you are having a talk with someone, just be so very careful of egos, because people's egos could take it really hard. And actually, it is going to be the fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Oh, forgive me. Wait, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Is that no, I'm missing somebody. Hold on, bear with me. Taurus, of course, Taurus. How could I forget Taurus? Okay, so Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. You guys, sun, moon, risings, and the fixed signs are going to have it the biggest challenge to your ego. So if you could stay as open and flexible as possible and let your hunger for the new and the different and the unusual and the innovative and the futuristic, if you could just let that be bigger than how you wanted it to go, how you wanted it to play out, how you expected it to be, you guys could actually win the biggest out of everybody if you go with the flow. Okay? Still, regardless, be careful of the egos, because other people are just, you know, people don't want to let go. They're gonna fight you on if you're trying to break up with someone. They're gonna tweak out if you're trying to let someone go. If you're trying to, you know, these big changes, not everybody watches these horoscopes. Not everyone cares about astrology. And people, you guys have, my patrons have known since, June and before that this is kind of coming up. And so you guys are going to have the heads up and be more prepared to shift and pivot on a dime. Other people out there are flying blind without astrology, without being connected to their own psychic ability, without using divinatory tools such as tarots, pendulums, anything like that. So I'm just saying that to have a little bit patience with these people that you're dealing with that are flying blind, because they're going to be scared. And when people are scared, the worst comes out. Their shadows come out, and you can see how well they don't treat themselves if they're not doing any kind of subliminal work like we've been doing. And like you guys know the vlog, How to Heal and Move On. If they're not any kind of spiritual or anything, they go cold on themselves or they treat themselves really poorly, who's going to catch it? You. They're going to project all of that onto you. So have your confidence about you to deal with that kind of thing. Have your wits about you is all I'm saying, and handle these people with kid gloves so that they don't hurt themselves and they don't hurt you, and you're not letting them hurt you. So there's a way to do that, to be compassionate, but to also advocate for your own boundaries, protect them with giving them some boundaries. And but it's going to be a little bit of a hard, it's a necessary disappointment. That's why I'm calling it Necessary Disappointments for Tuesday. But even though that has to be the case, you see the new thing already. You see the new vista. You see the new playground opening up that you're just like, oh, I can't wait to go play on the swing, slide, monkey bars, So you'll be pretty happy regardless. Wednesday, July the 27th, we have Mercury in Leo, trining Chiron in Aries. This day I'm calling it patching it up and acceptance. This is like the sting of that disappointment of yesterday and Tuesday can now be worked through talking therapy. This is what I'm going to recommend. Talking things through, talking through the disappointments will go such a very long way towards a higher understanding of what's going on and an acceptance. So for the people out there that are not, as well prepared as we are, because we're us, they're probably going to need a little bit more time to figure it out and to accept that everything is happening in their benefit and that this is the best thing that could be happening to them, that they just don't see it yet. So for you guys, you'll be able to do that mentally and with yourself. And if you have any conversations with others, you should also be a very healing, benevolent influence and helping this person or these people come around to that higher understanding and a greater acceptance of you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Okay? Just saying. Thursday, July the 28th, here we go. Now we're on the Leo new moon. New moon in Leo, everybody. Happy new moon in Leo. Here we are on Thursday. This is also the day that Jupiter is stationing retrograde at 8 degrees of Aries. They will be retrograde until November 23rd, where they will station direct, but they will be in Pisces at that moment. They will be stationing direct November 23rd at 28 degrees of Pisces. This is also the day that Mercury in Leo squares Uranus in Taurus. So let's dive in. I'm calling this day course correction. You're breaking a new frontier. Can you even conceive of such a thing, that there's still new frontiers in this day and age? Well, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. You're going to be living through it these next 2 weeks. Expect so much on the world stage. World news, breaking world news. There's going to be inventions revealed, discussed, maybe more alien disclosure, biotech stuff, anything having to do with crossing the intersections of healthcare, biodiversity, and machinery and technology and the future. There's more there. There could even be things connecting spirituality and science that are helping to prove so many more things. There's actually so much proof already out there, for instance, of psychic ability and so many things. More of that is like on my TikTok though, but and higher up on Patreon. So check it out if anyone's interested. And actual miracles, okay? July 31st, August 1st, miracles. And I never say that word. I don't ever talk about miracle this, miracle that. No, but I am using this word very, very purposefully because this is actually the energy of miracles. There could just be so many great things happening. And Uranus is the one planet in astrology that is unpredictable. Love that. So, you know, we don't know what it's going to be until it gets here, but just know that it will be an elevation in our value systems, an elevation in our self-appreciation, an elevation of our physical terrestrial reality. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. What does that really mean? What will really make us appreciate all of those things even more? Maybe some destruction, maybe a revelation of how some systems are not working well, such as energy disbursements, or how we're getting and sending and receiving energy, and how we're powering our lives, and the structures that we have put up regarding farming and produce and all of the natural resources that we mine from earth and people and animals and bugs and insects and everything earthy and natural. So here's the thing. Definitely, the new moon is opening the portal. It's opening the corridor with which we're going to walk through into the new, right? So as far as what could it possibly be, on the world stage, it could honestly be anything from nuclear events to energy failures to natural, huge, disruptive natural disasters. I mean, the earth could really break up and break apart. So earthquakes and things like that. It could also be very cultural in terms of the people making some big waves and big shifts. And honestly, guys, things are going to get so much better, but they do have to get worse over the next few years. And that's a different discussion for a different day, but there's something happening in these next 2 weeks that's going to be very crucial and important to bringing us into the future. This is life unlived for all of us collectively as well. So you don't need to be afraid or fear this kind of thing. So even if something happens where you live or in your country or in your neighborhood, all you need to think about is basic preparedness, reasonable preparedness. So you guys know that I was super into primitive living and wilderness survival. So I was a prepper, I was preparing, I had that kind of that survivalist mentality kind of my whole life. And part of that was because I suffered nightmares for years, and they were always post-apocalyptic nightmares. And so it's like the same thing. I'm looking for a bag. I find a bag. I'm looking for food to put in the bag. And I keep going. And I have all these obstacles and adventures along the way. But it was always like that same mindset and that same mentality. So I have a lot of experience with this kind of thing. And all you really need to do, so you don't go too crazy with this. Like don't emotionally embrace the scariest timeline. That's the thing. You want to prepare reasonably if you live in an area that is prone to wildfires or earthquakes or anything like that. Of course, you prepare for that specific thing happening. Do a light prep work, have an evacuation plan, connect with your family members or neighbors or friends in your area and put something in place, and then don't think about it. Don't emotionally charge that potentiality, the worst case scenario. Don't think super doomsday. You need one bug out bag. That's what it's called. The Bob is that's what it was called before. I'm sure it's called the same thing. So your bug out bag is a bag that is by the door, that is pre-packed with your essentials, things like even your passport and any of the important things where if there were a fire in your home, you run out and you're in your pajamas, you just grab that bag and it has your necessities. It has your spare phone charger. It has all of the things, right? And then you just bug out and you just leave. So do something like that. Just make one bug out bag, keep it by the door. Just simple things that are in your control. Don't spend all of your money on something really obnoxious and crazy. This is an energy that you don't want to be super, you don't want to be extreme for the sake of being extreme. It needs to be authentic. It needs to be original. It needs to be real. So if that'll make you feel a little bit better to have that bug out bag waiting for you by the door, do that and then forget about it. Because at the end of the day, all of this Uranus in Taurus energy, Mars in Taurus, and especially the nodes, the North Node, by the way, being in Taurus from November 2021 to spring of 2023, the emphasis is on resourcefulness internally, increasing your sense of confidence and your inner resourcefulness, that you're going to be okay no matter what, that you're going to take care of yourself no matter what. So it's really about confidence and confidence building. So that's why you don't want to do anything super extreme, because that could be, if people are doing crazy extreme things, that's probably just a projection of their insecurity, of how they feel insecure about something, and they're just wild, and they're doing very unpredictable extreme things because of an insecurity, and it's an overcompensation. That's not what we're going for. You're going to see that, but that's not what we're going for. We're going for a breakthrough. This is a Jumbotron destiny breakthrough, to break you out of a rut, to break you out of a pattern. That's how you want to be thinking. So if you're feeling like you want to do something crazy and drastic, you really just want to analyze why you want that. Why does this feel right for you? If it's to break out of a rut, if it's to get out of something that's just not working anymore, if it's to breathe fresh new life into something in a different way, or even in a different context, in a whole different situation, that's the right thing to do. But if you've never thought about something and then you want to go spend all your money on something and do this whole different thing because you're scared and you're fearful or you're insecure, or that's gonna not end well. And I feel like that'll show you pretty much that that's not the right thing to do, or that pretty soon on that path that it's gonna get wonky. It's just gonna be a very disjointed effort, and you'll see that. It'll make sense, and you'll feel that, and hopefully it'll help people get more in alignment by them showing themselves through their decisions what doesn't work and what's not working, and what is detracting from their lives and detracting from what they really, really, truly and honestly want. Okay, so this is a course correction that has this element of a new perspective because of Jupiter stationing retrograde on the day of the new moon. There's a new perspective on a past or former idea, or just how you saw something. So you're not seeing things the way you saw them before. You're not seeing a relationship, or even relationships in general, or you're not seeing your living circumstance or a creative thing or a career trajectory. There's just something that or even your belief systems. This could be your actual philosophical, ethical, moral, life in the world belief systems that you're coming back around to see it from a different perspective. So this is a fresh start, this new moon in Leo, a clean slate, a breath of fresh air, a new chance. But you will have to change your perspective in order to move forward and move ahead. And you've got to incorporate that hunger for the unlived experience, that hunger for something you've never done before, something that you've never been open to before, something that you've never considered before. But it's got to be coming from that authentic place. That new moon in Leo, you've got to stay connected to your heart. You've got to stay connected to your creativity, your subliminal self, or your inner child. You've got to stay connected to your creative impulse. And you've got to stay connected to what will bring that out in you, what will bring out your very best. Where will you shine the brightest? It's new moon in Leo. It's all about self-expression and creativity and passion and fun and play and love. Love. It's a new moon in Leo. You want to love, okay? You want to love yourself. You want to love others. You want to have fun. You want to express yourself. You want to enjoy other people expressing themselves. You want to applaud for other people. You want to receive appreciation for you being exactly who you are. So whatever is going to ultimately support your unique self-expression of something in your heart, what do you have to say? What is in your soul? Get that out, externalize, write it down, do a performance, make a dance, write a song, do a lyric, play on your banjo, whatever it is. That is the point of this new moon, ultimately, is to honor that heart, honor that specific, unique voice that you have. And this triple conjunction, this new unlived experience, is giving you this jetpack Jumbotron fuel to do it different, to do it to a whole new level, to be you elevated, to be creative in a way you've never been creative before, to be in love, to love someone like you've never loved someone before, to be in love like you've never been in love before, whatever happens to be. I go through this in all 12 zodiac signs. And all the August monthlies are up already. So you can be talking about this, guys, over on Patreon already. So that's going to be the overall point of it. With Mercury in Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus, this is shocking news. This is the curveball. This is you. This is like coming out a little bit, where it's like, this is what makes me happy. This is who I love. This is the creative thing that I want to do now. This is like in Being John Malkovich, when John Cusack is being controlled, and he goes to his agent and he's like, I don't want to be an actor anymore. I want to be a puppeteer. It's kind of like that. Okay, so this shirt is like, it's like poofy right up here, and there's nothing here. So it's just, okay, I'll be fine. So that's kind of what I'm getting with this, is that Mercury squaring Uranus is that you're telling your agent, I want to be a puppeteer. I don't want to be John Malkovich, the actor. I want to be. So it's maybe not that drastic of a change. Maybe for some of you it's that drastic of a change, but it's this shocking news, this shocking revelation, or a shocking insight that you understand and you realize, and we are awake. We are so awake over these next couple of weeks. And it's kind of a riot. It's breakthrough communication. So you're conversing with other people. You could be shocking them. They could be shocking you. You could both be shocking each other with what you've got going on back and forth. And I'm going to say, don't take any of it personally, because like I said before, people are flying blind out there. And so when you come to them after being very predictable for the last 20 years, and you say you're going in a different direction, or you're doing something different with your life, your family are going to look at you and say, who do you think you are? And your coworkers and your friends are going to say, who do you think you are? And you're going to have to tell them who you are. And they're going to have to just explode in their little heads with their cognitive dissonance being broken. And they're going to have to get over that. And they're going to have to accept that and deal with that. So if someone's telling you the same thing, just accept it immediately. Accept it immediately. If it's meant to be, it'll stick, and they'll stick with that. And if it turned out to just be like a, like just sort of like a misguided impulse, then it'll be what it is, and they'll learn a lesson that they have to learn. But just accept it. If you're being told something, and you just try to be as gentle as possible when you're telling other people things. And if this is more of a breakthrough in communication, like a revelation, then honestly, just write it all down. Write it all down. Write everything down so that you remember it. It's so easy to feel like we've always been who we are. And it's so crucially important for me personally, when I look back on the moments, I remember the moments when my mind changed. I remember the moments when my perspective shifted. I remember the moments when I was looking at something or a relationship or my life in one way, and then all of a sudden it did this zoom out thing, and I immediately saw it for being so much wider or bigger than I thought it was. And it's always like, wow, like in a movie or something. And so just write it down so that you can remember it. Remember that you had to stretch your mind, you had to stretch your perception, you had to stretch yourself to hold more light, to hold more potentiality, to hold more life, to hold more of who you are in your life. You had to make room for that. And for you to make room for that, you had to expand your mind. Embrace the new perspective. You could be getting a second chance at something, or you might just feel like you have a second chance because you have a new perspective. You have the awareness now that you didn't have before. So now you can do things. You know what to do that you didn't know what to do before because you didn't know any better before. But now that you do, now you can give more fullness of expression to your heart space, to your joy, to your love, your self-expression, to your relationships, whatever it happens to be for you, wherever this new moon in Leo is happening to be, and wherever that Taurus area of life you've got going on, that big boom, that's a big one. That's a big one, okay? So look at yourself as a pioneer, finding and breaking that new frontier. I rhyme on accident so much. Okay. Let's move on. Friday, July the 29th, we have the moon in Leo doing most of the things. That moon in Leo is squaring Mars in Taurus, conjuncting Mercury in Leo, and opposing Saturn in Aquarius retrograde. I'm calling this day building out the new. So from Sunday to Friday, it's a lot of realization, understanding, and acceptance that things are never going to be the same again, and communicating that to others, and the fallout, patching that up as much as you can if you're backing out of a commitment, or if you're backing out of, because commitments are changing at this time. Commitments and maybe even allegiances, maybe even allies are changing at this time. Maybe even objectives and motives are changing. Big pivots and shifts are changing at this time. So by the time you get to Friday, this is already starting in on the new, building it up. So you've closed out the old business, like in Gomez and Adam's family. Old business is old business and new business is new business. So you're closing out the old business. Closed out the old business, got your new start. You have your heart, just follow your heart, honestly. Your heart is showing you where this new frontier is meant to take you. Your heart will tell you where it wants to go. Your heart will tell you the road it wants to travel. Your heart will tell you. Follow that heart. Just listen to that heart. Don't listen to anybody else. If there's any moon that you don't listen to other people, it's the Leo Aquarius moons, and that's another thing. So the communications are hard right now because of these pivots, and the communications of like, oh, I know I said we were going to do this, but like I really have to do this over here. I'm so sorry. I have to do this though. It's my destiny. You might be saying that to people and they're like, screw your destiny. You promised me this. And they're going to have to, we're all going to have to, if we're getting it or sending it, we're just going to have to accept it. We're going to have to accept it. We're going to have to get over it. And it's going to have to give us confidence no matter what, whatever is going on. Get confidence out of it. Use it to believe in yourself no matter what. Okay? No matter what. Believe in your heart no matter what. Because by the time we get to the full moon in Aquarius, August 11th, the communications are going to change completely. So it's just going to be a rocky beginning, like a rocky week or two for the communications. And then it's going to be a freaking shotgun of great ideas and rapid fire positive communication. And it'll be breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And it's the whole vibe mentally and communicatively. I don't know if that's a word or not. You know how I mean it. Are going to change, and you're going to be in a whole different communicative flow, and you're going to be in the new, like you're going to be in the new thing in as little as a couple of weeks. So honestly, any bad news you got to break this week, do not take it personally. Don't linger in that energy, because your heart's already ahead of you. Your heart's already in the new energy. Your heart's already feeling it out. Your heart's already feeling the new unlived feelings and the new future. That's the timeline you want to embrace, the one your heart wants. Like I'm saying, on Friday, July the 29th, we are building out the new. So that Leo moon, this new moon, is conjuncting Mercury. You're discussing the creative impulses. You're discussing your feelings. You're discussing what your real vision is, how you really want to express yourself. Like you cannot fake your heart. You cannot, the Leo energy, you cannot fake it. Don't try to fake it. Don't try to tell yourself you're in love when you're not. Don't try to tell yourself you like this when you don't. Don't try to tell yourself you're happy when you're miserable. No. So, conjuncting Mercury, you're at least thinking about it. You're at least intellectualizing your emotions and emotionalizing your intellect. So talk it out with someone. Talk about your creativity, your feelings, your heart, your wants, what'll make you happy, what you really want for yourself, what's real for you, and what you really want to have in your experience. Go ahead and feel it out, talk it out. The square to Mars, Moon Mars, that could be that's an emotional adjustment. Like what you're building out the new, and this is either a lot of passion, like Gomez passion. Honestly, I know I say this all the time. We're 100 days out from Halloween, you guys, and I have a surprise planned for you this year. I'm so excited. I am so excited. I have a surprise for you guys for this year for Halloween. We're 100 days out. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things so that you don't miss it. And Halloween, it's the one holiday I remember to say every year. It's like, happy Halloween, everything else I forget. So get excited for that. I am so excited for Halloween. I'm excited for the holidays this year. I really, really, really am. Anyway, so, that's what I was saying. So Moon Mars is like Gomez Adams passion. Or lust. It could be like a frustrated lust where there's like there could be a little bit of a frustration where there's like a lusty, I don't know, something lusty, but like some kind of frustration with it where maybe you have to wait, or there's like a distance issue, or there's something that's like an unfulfilled. As of right now, as of this day, it's unfulfilled. But there's also the moon opposing Saturn. So that's feelings, that's feeling very, like you're taking this very seriously. So you're building out the future. And this is what I love for those of you that are going with the flow. Anything that gets shut down from you, if there's a road closed, you just accept it immediately, and you just immediately, okay, where's the flow going? And you go there. If you let that happen, or maybe some of you are the ones instigating, like you fixed signs, you could be the ones that are very unpredictable to other people. Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. You guys could be the ones that are shaking things up in the rest of our lives, and I'm here for it. I'm totally ready. I'm here to support you guys. And you could be building it out and showing us all that you're serious as a heart attack about this, that this is serious business. You're taking this very seriously. This is not an impulse. This is not something that's going to be fly by the night. This is something that you know in your heart of hearts is true for you. You've got to do this. And here's the plan. So it's a very sober, realistic, very grounded energy on Friday. So I like it. Okay, Saturday, July the 30th. Now the moon moves on. The moon enters Virgo, and then we have Mercury in Leo opposing Saturn retrograding in the sign of Aquarius. So now that the moon is, I'm calling this day radical commitments, because something's just going to look so different and weird and strange and unusual, and it's going to be the new thing. So if there's a new invention that's released, if Apple comes out with a new device and everyone's going to want to go get it, or whether it's, a bigger alien disclosure and everyone is wanting to read more about it, or see all the footage, or, whatever it is, it's like everyone's focal point is going to be drawn to this point, the 18th degree of Taurus. over the next 2 weeks, but specifically July the 31st to August 1st. So I'm including it into this week because on Tuesday the 26th, Uranus conjuncts the North Node in Taurus. So as early as that point, it could be any moment over the next 2 weeks, but it's going to be the global attention being driven to the point. Whether it's an invention or a release or an announcement or anything, whatever happened, or a natural disaster, anything like that, we're all going to be paying attention to the same thing. So on this day, I'm calling it radical commitments. The moon is in Virgo. It's very, now the feeling nature, you've already advocated for your feelings. You already advocated for your heart, your creative vision, your passion, who you love, what you're attracted to, who you're attracted to, what your vibe is. You've already stood up for it and said, this is it. This is what it's going to be. This is where the direction we're going in. Now that the moon's in Virgo, you already made commitments. Now you're working out the details. Now you're just getting to work on the new thing. You are rational, methodical, detail-oriented, and there's a lot to build onto this new path. You're meeting new people, you're learning new things, you're whatever happens to be for you, drawing up paperwork, whatever happens to be. That's also the same day that Mercury in Leo is going to oppose Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. So there could be verbalizing commitments, discussing serious things, like discussing the nature of the commitment, or even structuring out any ideas that you have been having or that you have come up with over this past week and making them real, making them concrete. So you could be putting plans together for moving out, for moving in, for moving people out, for moving people in, for starting a new job, from getting out of your old job to redoing your entire novel or your musical composition, whatever happens to be. You could be very, very serious about grounding the ideas, grounding the commitments, structuring it all out. So that's probably a good day for negotiations where it's very serious, and it's a strong energy for serious discussions, I should say. Sunday, July the 31st, I am calling, oh, happy, happy days. And that is because we have that moon in Virgo sextiling Venus in Cancer. That moon in Virgo is also trining Mars in Taurus, and the sun in Leo is trining Jupiter in Aries. This is very uplifting. This is very, very, very uplifting. This is so happy. This is optimistic, and like you are just, now think about it, after you deliver some disappointing news to someone, you get out of that guilty vibe and you start working on the new thing you're excited about, and then a couple days after that, then you're just like clear skies and you just have so much to look forward to. That's what I feel like this is, especially because it's Jupiter. Like that's so much happiness. That is some great news. That is lucky. Jupiter is retrograde at this point. Oh, so if you were born with Jupiter retrograde, this could be a lot better for you. Other people, Jupiter retrograde this could still be very happy. This could still be very uplifting, but it'll take you a lot longer to see results or to see the fruit of the seeds. You're planting seeds at the new moon. It could take you a little bit longer for those seeds to really get going and come to, fruition. But if that's the case, just bring people on that are born with Jupiter retrograde, like me, because we're born with this energy natally, and so we have a knack for turning things that don't look valuable into something valuable. We have a knack for seeing the value in things that nobody else sees. We have a knack for turning something that nobody else can turn a profit into, or that no one else can make it beautiful, or no one else can make it great or good, but a Jupiter retrograde person can make it incredible and amazing and make it look like, oh my God, this big, great, wonderful thing was there the entire time. Everybody missed it except a Jupiter retrograde person. So I love talking. I have a lot of querents in my private practice that are also Jupiter retrograde people. And it's just, I love those Jupiter retrograde stories. They really are. So if you are born with a Jupiter retrograde, go to astro.com, put in your birth details. It'll pull up your chart. Let me know in the comments and how that experience has been for you, because it's just very, now the more common interpretation of that detail of your natal chart is that we are much more introspective people, and that is the case because Jupiter is a very expansive energy. It's an expansive, happy, lucky, jovial, yes planet, and it goes outward. But when Jupiter is retrograde in the natal chart, all of that energy, it's like inward, like inside the expansion goes. So it's supposed to be very lucky, and it is, but when Jupiter retrogrades, it can take a little bit longer for that to come to fruition, unless you have a Jupiter retrograde person on the team, and then it might not take that long, or it'll go a lot better than you thought, or it'll just helps out a lot. So, okay. So that's the Sun trining Jupiter. Now, this could bring happy, great news from the past, or about something that maybe didn't happen before, or it didn't happen well, or didn't go well, but now it is going well, and now it is being brought back to life, but with a fresh perspective. And it's just happy, great news, and it's just like kind of obsessive. Like, this could definitely be that like pandemonium energy. It's entertainment. Leo is the sign of entertainment, so it could be something very exciting and a new take on something old, a new take on something that everyone was used to seeing it a certain way, but this is great news, and that it's going to be a little bit different than everybody thought. The moon in Virgo sextiling Venus in Cancer is soothing any kind of nervous tension. Very, very, very soothing. So if that Virgo moon was making anyone a little bit neurotic, like stressing out about all of the details, or stressing out about all the things to do, all the things to do, and all the details to take care of, that sextile to Venus will make you feel a lot calmer. Very, very soothing any nervous tension. And the moon trining Mars. Moon Mars is very sexual, very lusty. Moon was just squaring Mars on Friday, so now on a Sunday, Moon is trining Mars. This is where that block to the passion, to you being Gomez, that obstacle, or maybe you had to wait or something, it gets relieved, and now you get to just enjoy the passion, just enjoy feeling amazing, enjoy feeling lusty, enjoy your libidinous attractions, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Build it out. So let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot for the week ahead, shall we? Okay. Let's take a look. What can we expect for this week ahead, please, for all of the people watching? That's how this works. The more you watch me and connect with me, we establish a telepathic connection, and I channel your messages in the collective readings and the general readings. So that's why not all of the details may fit every single person that resonates. So if it does not resonate, that's a Scooby snack. That's somebody else's confirmation. And you can still learn from what other people are learning, which is how I like to explain this to people. Only when you book a psychic tarot reading with me are all of my channelings for you and in your life. That's when I remote view. So I'm remote viewing as I am doing your tarot reading, and everything that comes through when I'm remote viewing is about you and your life and whatever you're asking me to psychically spy into. Tell me about this week ahead for my people, please. Ooh, okay, so we've got the Chariot. Okay, so self-knowledge is actually what I'm getting a lot out of this. Self-knowledge. The Sphinxes are always very riddly. I love riddles, and so do the Sphinxes. So they will ask you a riddle. This charioteer, you're the charioteer. And if you know, it's always going to be about yourself. And if you can answer the question correctly, you get to steer these Sphinxes. And you get to ride the chariot. If you answer incorrectly, you will drive that chariot into a ditch, or it won't go at all. And the Sphinxes will move in different directions, like herding cats. That's true for someone. For someone, it's been like herding cats with something. Like you just couldn't get all of the cats in the spots. They're all over the place. But now it's a whole different, now it's like all the cats are like, and they're just waiting for you to direct them, and they're listening. So you're having success with this, whereas before it was like herding cats. I'm hearing that a lot, herding cat. Was that something? Hold on. 'twas not. Herding cats. Tell me more about this week ahead. Wow, so something gets to go though, something gets to move forward. Oh, the Page of Pentacles. This is someone that's like just starting in a profession or in a job. They will grow into the Knight of Pentacles and they will grow into the King or the Queen of Pentacles. This is someone that starts with their honesty and their integrity and their work ethic, and they just learn and they work hard and they learn and they work hard. And that is what they use to get ahead. That is what they use to get to the very top and become their own little king or queen. So don't be afraid to start over, because this is new. This is like a very new, fresh start, or a new person, or a very young person. It doesn't have to be like a physical, we're not ageist here. This does not have to be like a physically young person. This is just a new energy. Wow. So it's not like herding cats anymore. And they're starting new with something. Tell me about this week ahead, please. Ooh. Oh, the Hierophant. And there's another one that flipped. The Nine of Wands. Look at you. Whatever this is, you have held out so much faith for this, and it was really hard. This is something that could have been really difficult to believe in, or to commit to, or to hold the commitment together. If this is, you know, a business partnership or a marriage or anything that you are very, very committed to, it could have been so hard to either keep the commitment or to keep your belief, and maybe even both in some cases. Someone here could be a little bit cagey too, like a little bit defensive, or a little bit... Okay, so you guys know how I talk about the Roman Catholic Church and how they have completely alienated people from themselves and alienated people from the connection to God, and they just made themselves the middleman and disempowered the planet from that. That perspective is kind of me here with the Nine of Wands, with this Hierophant. That's that. It's like, well, there's not a lot of trust there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like someone could be very, now that's like an example, but someone could be a little bit suspicious of your belief system or your faith or your religion, or you could be that way to somebody else and somebody else's belief system. You know, people could just be very wary. One thing that really surprised me is that when I first started doing readings, I would have these waves of people booking where they would have been so like traumatized and hurt from other psychics that took advantage of them and that exploited them. And it always just really ground my gears. Like that is something that grinds my gears, is any kind of spiritual fraud. And Roman Catholic Church is the biggest perpetrator. It's the biggest offense to spirituality because of what they've done and because of what they're doing and because of what they do and how they operate and all of it. So, you know, this is someone that could be a little bit defensive. They might just be a little bit averse. They might just be a little bit, you know, cagey or suspicious or, you know, what have you. So I'm really proud that I was able to be an amazing experience for my Aquarians and for my people, that they had a good experience with an honest, true, authentic psychic that could do the work that they hired me to do and help them in the way and support them in the way that they needed. So this could be kind of like that. This could be, you even have the star bottom of the deck. This could be some kind of healing or some kind of like a balm over a wound. Like if someone doesn't believe in marriage, if someone doesn't believe in commitment, if someone doesn't believe in monogamy, if someone doesn't believe in, you know, it's like this, that could still be it. Like someone just, maybe they saw their parents get divorced and it was absolutely heartbreaking and horrible. Maybe they themselves were divorced, or maybe they were in a long-term committed relationship and it didn't work out, and they're, you know, whatever it happens to be, someone in this situation this week will be a little bit shaky. So just be understanding, okay? We'll do one more. Ooh, was that something? I think that was. It was. And it's a star. And it's the star. Look at you. And it's the star. So it wanted to be here. That star wanted to be here for sure. Okay, what's the bottom of the deck? We have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, Romeo, my Romeo card. The Lover, speaking of Romeo. And the Ten of Wands. Why does that make me smile? Oh, gosh. This is kind of like an inconvenient... Oh, my skin is so sensitive. I just like scratched... Sorry, I just like scratch it and then it just looks like red. Okay, so overall, this feels a little bit like an inconvenient attraction. Or for some of you, in some cases, this is, it depends if it's worth it or not. It depends if it's worth it or not. This could be a relationship that you like, but is somehow like bringing you down, or it's very weighty, or it's very heavy. And it's very difficult to keep the commitment. So this might be starting in a whole new direction. And for others of you, something about this new thing that you're starting has an overwhelming emotionalism with it. And it looks like it could be with a person or about a person where it's very positive. It's like you really like someone, or someone really likes you, but there's something difficult about it. There's just something like inconvenient, or it's like a lot. Maybe someone likes you a lot, or you like this person a lot, and even that in itself could be sort of overwhelming. It's almost like where I feel like this would be someone that you like so much that you just can't look at them. Or you just can't talk to them, or you just can't, you know, it's kind of like, ooh. It's like, it's got that vibe to it. Okay, so before I start opening this up, you should know that I always talk about this. The banner above the chariot, the blue with the stars, that's exactly the star over here. So for me as a reader, these two come out together a lot, as well as the star and the hermit. So I'm not too surprised to see this here. Again, the self-knowledge, the self-awareness. When you can answer that riddle and you have your answers, you go up for the answers. You don't go to a priest. You don't go to any middleman. And even what I do, what I teach, what I preach is always to support your connection, your downloads, your psychic ability, your connection to spirit and source. You will never hear me be like, well, come to me because I can do this, but don't go to anybody else, and I'm not going to teach you anything that I can do. And you know, you'll never get that from me, because it's always about empowering the individual. Everyone's an individual. Everyone is psychic. Everyone has that connection. No one needs to go to anybody else. No one needs to go to a priest or a or a whatever. Because there's spiritual egos and there's abuse there, and it's not just in the Catholic Church. It's not just with the astrology community. It's not just, that's whenever there's someone that is lost and feeling insecure and having low self-esteem, going to somebody else for help. So this is exploitation in families, in friendships, in business connections, in all sorts of contexts and situations. That's what I'm the energy person. So this is what I speak to, is the actual energy and the energetics of what's really going on in life. So you guys always, I have to keep saying that over. I know you guys have heard it so much, but I just have to put it when it's coming up in like almost all these videos. But it's really important for me, and part of what I do, to tell you guys that and to always reaffirm that someone like me is only here to support your connection, to support your psychic ability, to support your spiritual confidence, not to rely on us to be the connection for you. Sure, it can start that way as you're learning, as you're going on. I've had a mentor. My mentor was a past life regressionist, a hypnotherapist, and like a freaking probably one of the most gifted psychics I'll ever meet in my life. So, but eventually you get your own downloads, you do your own work, and that's the whole point of this, is self-mastery. Everything I teach is for self-mastery and just self-mastery. Truth, love, integrity, self-mastery. There's two spiritual paths. Everything, every like religion or spiritual teaching, it all leads to one of two paths. There's a path of enlightenment, like the Buddha, and just zenning out a little bit. And then there's a path of self-mastery. That's the one that I'm on, and a lot of you guys are on too. This is the Jesus Christ path, where you're using abilities and you're using your spiritual skills, talents, and abilities to create your reality and live your best life. So it's one or two. Every religion, every spiritual teaching is going to take you down one or two of those paths. So when you guys are here, you're learning the path of self-mastery. But your self-mastery, not myself. It's not, to me, it's not cool if I can do it. It's cool if we can all do it. It's cool if I can teach you to do it, and then you guys can do it, and then we can all do it, and we can all share in that experience. So you'll have to get your own answers. You'll have to get your own, the Sphinxes are going to ask you a riddle this week, and you're going to have to go get your own answers, and you're going to have to know that they're those right answers for you. And you will have to be inspired, uniquely inspired. And then the chariot moves. Let's see how. Tell me about this chariot, please, for my people. What message am I here to deliver? Thank you. Another Knight of Chalices? That's complicated. Okay. So the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Chalices, that's my Romeo card. That is Romeo and Juliet here. Okay, so there's something about moving everything forward that is absolutely grounded in relationships, in personal relationships. The quality of your relationships, the quality of the connection in your personal relationships. You might need to let something go. You might need to make a difficult choice. And I don't think it'll be difficult for you to see or understand. I feel like you'll feel pretty strong who you love or who you're attracted to or who you're being drawn to versus who feels like a burden. I hate to say it that way. I'm so sorry. Versus who feels like dead weight. I'm so sorry to say it that way. But it's going to be clear. It's going to be so clear. Someone is weighing you down, and someone could be unlocking your future and saying, go as fast as you want. Go on. Go free. Run. Be free. Someone could be supporting you on that, and then someone else could be dragging you down. You've got to know. You know inside which one is what. So this victory, this is an athletic victory, this chariot energy. Whenever I'm reading for an athlete and I see the chariot, I tell them, you're going to win, and they do. So you want to win more than anything else. You're able to, there's something here. It's like the cats that can't be herded. They get fired. They get let go from your life. Herding cats, it's not working anymore. You were very patient. You gave it your best shot. You gave it all of the support that it could have needed for success. You gave it the full support. And they're still being distracted by the squirrel outside of the window or whatever it is. You're dropping this dead weight, and there's actually a really nice alternative. It's very sweet. It's very it's very nice. It's real soft. You know, Romeo and Juliet, that's like a very innocent, sweet, pure love and pure attraction. It's just an easy, it's easy and it's simple, and only their circumstances were difficult. But just those two together, you know, without the rest of the world, it was great. That's where the flow goes. That's where the flow is going. It's not going into the resistance. It's not, the flow is getting stopped by what feels very forced, or what feels like a burden, or what feels like it's weighing you down. The flow is trying to go to the path of least resistance, an easier relationship in some cases. Business, personal, romantic, what have you. Let's take a look at the Page of Pentacles, please. Ooh. I've got 2 cards here. More doubles. We have the Lovers and we have the 9 of Swords. Double Lovers and double 9 of Swords. Whoa. So this is really a big deal. Like, whatever is happening in your relationships this week, that's going to be the biggest thing. This is like the biggest change first, and then you're building out the rest. So it's like you're changing the skeleton of something, of relationships. So your living situation, your work situation, your family situation, the relationship dynamics, and maybe even the characters are changing this week and next week. And then you build it out. And then you decide, well, we have a great relationship. I really get along with this person. What are we going to build on it? Are we going to build a friendship? Are we going to build a collaboration? Are we going to build a work situation? We know that we connect. We know that it's easy to get along. What are we going to do with that? But this 9 of Swords is extremely stressful. There's something stressful. You don't overthink it. Why are you worried about it? Don't overthink it. Just don't overthink it. Someone is like nervous about, I don't know if you're nervous about learning something new, or someone might have like the jitters about expanding their horizon, or starting a new project, or starting on a new footing, or on a clean slate. One person does have a little bit of anxiety about that. I don't think you need to have anxiety though. You don't have to have any anxiety about it. Don't be nervous. It's okay. Okay, let's take a look at the 9 of Swords and the Hierophant. And what's this 9 of Swords? The 9 of Wands and the Hierophant. Why is the 9 of... Thank you. You guys, you have another doubles. Oh my gosh. I've been pulling doubles since the Sagittarius full moon forever ago. You have the Sun, happiest card in the deck. And you have the Chariot, another victorious energy. The Chariot is your victory. It's your athletic win. There's only one winner. And it's you. I think this is excited, nervous tension. I don't think you're really nervous. I mean you're nervous, but I think this is like excited nervous. Because you're happy. You're happy. Happy dog. I'm just happy dog. Like, you're like that happy. Someone's like deliriously happy here. But there's like this, like, under the surface of it. This is weird. This is almost like you're happy to win. You're happy that there's no more herding cats issue. You're happy you're getting rid of the dead weight. You're happy that you're, moving your focus. But the hesitation does look like a spiritual, it's almost like, okay, so sometimes someone will order a reading from me for someone else in their life. They'll order a reading for, it's like they have the psychic experience, right? And they want to share that with someone else in their life that they love, who is maybe like, a non-believer, we'll just say. And they book a reading to have with me, and when we have the reading, and it's like they say they don't believe in this stuff, right? And then in this reading with me, they're like kind of like this. They're kind of like nervous. you know, because they don't know what to expect. I'm the expert, they don't know anything. And so it's my duty and responsibility to guide them through the experience in a safe way where it's not, overwhelming, because we're not trying to do that. We don't want to scare people here. So we're trying to rebrand. I mean, at least I am. I'm trying to rebrand the occult. So honestly, guys, when I found out in 2019 that people were talking about astrology on YouTube, that people were putting tarot videos on YouTube, it was like, I had no idea that people were talking, like being this, like, public about it. So change everything. Anyway, so, these readings that I would have with these people, these non-believers, by the end of it, they absolutely were. Of course, by the end of it, I'm remote viewing here. So I have, as long as I have your permission, and I'm an ethical psychic spy. Like, I'll never do this in an unethical, I'll never use my ability in an unethical way. So they feel, I think they feel better at the end, but they are still kind of, a little bit like, because that's kind of what I'm getting with this. Let me just put it that way. That's what I'm getting with this, where it's like someone's happy, there's a lot of happiness here, but there's some nervous tension maybe regarding a person who's foreign from you, or who believes something different than you believe, or maybe they're just the one that is apprehensive, and you just have to focus on not letting their apprehension rub off on you and destabilize you and like disturb your peace. So there does seem to be like a little bit of that, but I mean, you should make that work. That should be okay. Everyone can believe different things, I can still enjoy a dinner of people that believe all different things and still talk with Roman Catholics. Of course, I'm baptized Roman Catholic. It's like it's extremely familiar. I can talk, I can say what I have to say about it all day. At the end of the day, it's still extremely familiar. I remember all those prayers. I remember all that service. I remember going to Roman Catholic school in my grammar school years. My God, you don't get that out of you. It's like it's so stamped into your. That's the point, of course. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the star. This is what's giving you the belief and the confidence and the faith. This is healing. This is meditative. What's this? What's this star energy? Ooh, thank you. Another double, 10 of Wands and the Emperor. Daddy's home, everyone. What is this? Every single clarification has a double. Double Knight of Cups, double Lovers, double Chariot, double 10 of Wands. So there's someone that is the decision maker, like an absolute decision maker. That's the Emperor. The shot caller. This is the person they have the say so. If they say so, it goes. If they do not say so, it does not happen. It does not go. This is the approval person. And they are experiencing a softening, a healing, in their perspective of relationships because of this one person. Someone gives this like crotchety Emperor some new faith or some new hope or some new perspective, at least, on perhaps, if this is professional, this is finally going to work. We finally have the great salespeople in our corporate team. We're finally getting the right the right person for the job after not being able to find the right person. If this is love and romance, this is, oh my God, I think I found someone that I could really commit to after me not believing in commitment for a long time, because I always felt relationships were just another thing I'd have to take care of, and not, a burden. I don't want a burden. But this person is opening my mind, and I'm starting to learn more about them, and the more I learn, the more faith I'm getting that maybe it's not going to be crummy. Maybe it'll be fun. It's kind of like that. Or for some of you, it's a person that was very closed-minded spiritually in terms of their belief systems, or maybe political stuff or ideologies or anything like that. And this is them opening up through another person to a foreign perspective and feeling better because of it. Feeling better that there is another perspective into a darkened or otherwise burdensome perspective on life, and looking at people and situations. And maybe it's like they looked at life as super bleak, and this person, someone introduces a new perspective that works, that really makes them see things differently and they feel differently. How do I define spirituality? It's how you feel based on what you believe. So if you're unhappy every day, or most of the day, every day, that's a bad spirituality. That's still a spirituality. Everyone has a spirituality. Everyone has an art of living. It's conscious or it's unconscious. So when you're happy every day, or when you're happy most of the day, every day, that's a strong spirituality, strong beliefs, how you feel based on what you believe. So what do you really believe? What does this person really believe? Well, there's something that's maybe shown them that relationships are burdensome and overwhelming. There's experiences in the past that have made this person distrust the institution of religion, or maybe even all of spirituality, who knows, or authority systems, what have you. And now there's this new person or new project or new book, even if this could be a book, it's just some way the universe is bringing a new perspective into this person's life to show them how happy things could be, how happy you could be, how happy you could feel. This looks like the major healing of someone that maybe had lost hope for healing. I love happy endings. Let's take a look at your guidance. Is there any guidance for whoever this message is for? I guess there is. Bottom of the deck, the white owl. The wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. The wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. Exactly what I like to say. And then you have two cards. You've got the Crow. Universal laws and truths are now being revealed. Use this energy to create your reality. Universal laws and... This is really, really, really speaking to this person's reading, because this is like, going from being very averse to learning about spirituality, or learning about lucid dreaming, remote viewing, astral travel, or even just organized religion, the resistance to that. But look at what's happening. Universal laws and truths are now being revealed through another person, through a project, or through a book, or somehow. So this is this emperor. This is the head of an industry. This is the leader of... This is not just someone that owns their own business. This is not just the leader of a company. This would be the leader of a multinational corporation. This is the head of the industry, the head honcho. This is like that overall person. There's 4 kings in the tarot. They're all assimilated into the emperor. The emperor is the head honcho of everything. Actually, so is the Hierophant. So there are some very strong, powerful masculine energies like at play here. They're being revealed to this person. The universal laws and truths are being revealed to this person who's amassed a certain level of power materially, physically. But now they're ready to get more power, spiritual power. They're now being revealed. Use this energy to create your reality. So they will be creative with it. And then the woodpecker. Use your discernment and fortitude to achieve your goals and find a new rhythm. Well, this is definitely about achieving goals, as we have the Chariot over here to say it's definitely about ambition, and we have the other Chariot here too. Definitely about ambition, definitely about achieving goals. So finding the new rhythm, that's it this week, is getting into that new rhythm and maybe making some little adjustments to get into that new rhythm. Whether those obstacles are external obstacles where you have to make some changes, or whether it's internal and you've got to change your perspective or change your mind or get used to something. I am so excited for you guys. Let us know how this goes. I will check in on your energies next time, my dearies. Until then, my loves, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.